Today we're going to talk about decision making. So it's going to be pretty wide open conversation, but man, this is, I think, probably one of the biggest topics that you will need to cover as a human being. I'm not talking about as a youth. I'm not talking about as anything. I'm talking about just as a human. The decisions you make will shape your entire future more than anything else. So before we look down our handouts, what is a decision? Let's just throw it out. Forget about the definition on the paper. What's a decision to you?
Decision is a choice that you make.
Okay, choice you make. What else?
Responsibility.
Okay, keep going.
Something you decide to do.
Okay. Others?
Something you put thought to.
Okay, that's new. Something you put thought to. So it is a choice we make. It's something you decide to do. It is responsibility. But putting thought to it is a little bit different, right? That's probably a good decision. We all make decisions every day. What's a decision you made today? Anybody make some decisions today? Let's talk about it.
Go to the DMV.
Go to the DMV. Okay, what else?
Go to class.
Go to class.
Waking up, getting ready.
Getting ready. Ladies, I know you made a bunch of decisions before you even left your house. More than guys do. Look down at your clothes, right? You made decisions. Look in the mirror. You made decisions about makeup, right?
Yeah.
Ladies, you make decisions all the time, right? And then you guys even make big decisions and talk to your friends about, how's this look? Is this still match these shoes? And you know, some of you guys are like that too. Your hat's got to match your shirts, got to match your shoes, got to match your everything. And we take tons of time trying to figure out even what we look like. You make other decisions when you do the simplest of things, okay? Each one of you in this room, when you take a shower, you wash yourself a certain way. You don't even think about it. But if you think about it right now, or the next time you shower, notice where you start. Do you start on your right arm? Do you start on your leg? Do you start on your hair? Where do you start? That's a decision you've trained yourself to make every single day. Same thing the way you put on your clothes. What do you put on first? Right? And, you know, everything you do is a decision that's processed in your brain. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Some of those decisions don't mean that much. How many of you drive cars in the room? Nice set of hands. Don't lie. How many of you text and drive? Nice set of hands, right? Hey, that's a big decision. We see commercials about it. You see the accidents. You see how distracted it is. You see people get hit all the time. How many have ever jaywalked? Nice set of hands, right? Young girl just killed up on the east side of town jaywalking. A decision, right? If you're going to jaywalk, wear bright clothes, carry big lights, right? Most of the jaywalkers are wearing all dark stuff, crossing the street at really dark times of night, right? Not a good decision. Some of the decisions you make are very, very crucial. Other decisions, choosing to be a Raiders fan, not that big of a deal. I had a friend when I was your age, shot himself in the head. Got loaded one night, was on speed, thought it'd be funny, spin a gun in a chamber, and it was funny until it wasn't funny. And he's dead. He's 22, right? Bad decision. I mean, you don't think about that. He wasn't thinking about it. I guarantee he didn't think that this is going to be it for me, but it was it for him. Right? You probably have friends and people that make decisions that do bad things. You've probably made decisions that got you caught up in a circumstance and a future that you may not want. I know a lot of you in this room are in debt. I know a lot of you in this room have some legal stuff going on. Those are all because of decisions we made. So when we went around the room, talked about what a decision was, it was a choice or some other things, but a decision really is a conclusion reached after a considerable judgment. Now, for us that text and drive occasionally, here's the decision we should go through, right? Text, boom, look down, oh, I got to respond to this person. They want to know if I'm going to go out tonight. You don't got to respond to them, but you feel like you have to. So instead of going through the decision tree, you quickly make a choice. Emotional choice. I'm going to choose to respond to them because they want to be my friend and I need to connect back to them. It can't wait 30 seconds. It can't wait 2 minutes. It can't wait 10. It's immediate now. So you make that choice. Instead, if you go through that decision tree, you go, what are the pros of doing this and what are the cons? So tell me a good thing about responding to that text.
Well, there's nothing good about it, but I just want to say that 1 second can cost you your life.
All right. But there is something good about it.
Yeah.
I mean, there is really. That's why we do it. What's good about responding to that text?
They get the immediate answer.
They get an answer, right? You're in a relationship. It's still positive. They're not tripping out. Why didn't you text me back, right? So there's something positive. Now, what are the negatives?
It can cost you your life.
Cost you your life. What else?
Someone else's life.
Someone else's life. What else?
Not your life. I mean, you could get in serious trouble depending on the situation.
Legal situation, right? You could be in trouble. What else? How about financially? What can happen to you financially?
Oh yeah, you could
You end up in jail and lose your job.
Yeah. Jail, job,
wreck your car, have to get a new one.
right? Insurance, fines, cops get you, right? Physically, you could be disabled. You could live. All sorts of things can happen. But we don't think about that, do we? When we're in that moment, it's like we've got to respond to this text. And instead of, if you really think about all the things that could happen, right? This scar right here on my neck is because a guy was on his phone. Right back here on the way to work, February 2015, I'm just coming to work, mind my own business, going about 50 miles an hour, under the speed limit. Guy's in a truck going against traffic in a turn lane, doesn't see me because he's distracted on his phone, just pulls right in front of me. I slam into him, total that old red Covenant car, total his car. I end up having, major spinal neck surgery because of it. All in a split second, a decision. And I'm not mad at that guy, but I'm saying decisions really matter. Now let's fast forward to your life and our life and why decisions matter every single day. Choosing to get up. Another honest question. How many are here because you want to be here? How many are here because you have to be here? Right? Okay. So it's an honest question and an honest answer, right? But it's a decision you have to make. And you have to think through, why do I do what I do? So what we're going to do today is back out of this decision-making process, and I want to open up our understanding to see that decisions matter, but you can be the captain of your own ship, right? Let's be real. I'm going to say some things today that are not going to sit well with everybody, because I'm going to bring up some stuff from all of our past. I shared some stuff in my past. If I showed you a video of my life from 18 to 25, it looks nothing like what I do now. Because I was a young person that wasn't thinking and making good decisions. I made a lot of my decisions off of emotions and off of feeling, not off of reality and not off the future. But that's what we do. That's what being young is about. But I'll tell you this, if I could go back in time, I would make a couple different decisions, not a bunch. I've shared this with some of you guys before. My dad shared a positive story. He didn't even share it with me, he shared it with my son, which I was like, why didn't you share this with me? But there's 3 decisions you need to figure out: who God is, who you want to spend the rest of your life with, and what you want to do with your life. If you can figure those things out, you're pretty much set on your way, especially, number 2, because you can know who God is and what you want to do with your life, but if you get with the wrong person, your life's a train wreck. Likewise, if you're in the wrong job or wrong profession, it's a train wreck. And then if you have a spiritual need and you don't know anybody and have no connection, that's a train wreck. But if you make those decisions, little things can happen. And then you start filtering down from there the other decisions you make. So as we go through this, how are decisions made? They're processed. You have right behind your forehead is something called your prefrontal lobe. Okay? Here's the sad news for us today. It doesn't fully develop till you're 25 years old. So everybody's walking around in this room with an underdeveloped brain. Your brain mostly develops by the age of 14, but your decision-making part of your brain doesn't develop until 25 fully. You have a different part of your brain called the limbic system. It's further back, and it controls all your emotions. That's what most of us work off of up until our brain develops. Now, here's the thing where I said it was going to get rough. Everybody in this room, I believe, exited foster care at the age of 18 or 21 if you're in AB 12. Okay? Up until that time, let me ask some questions hypothetically. How many of you went to court when you were in foster care? How many times were you asked to where you want to live? What school you want to go to?
One.
Do you want to be removed from your home?
If I wanted to be removed or I was forced to be removed?
No, if you wanted to be. It's a decision.
Probably every time.
Do you want to go to Jameson?
They asked me that? No.
What I'm saying in shaping is your decisions up until you left care were not your choice.
Yeah.
You had case managers, some that were great people and believed in you. You had other case managers that went to work for the check. You were just a piece of paper and a file. Okay? You didn't choose to be, and this is where I'm not coming down on anybody's biological family. You didn't choose to be in a family that somebody chose, whatever they chose, to get you removed from their home. That wasn't your choice. None of you came out of a baby and said, you know what? I want to be removed from my home at age blank. And none of you said, you know what? I want to move into this many houses at age blank, blank, blank. I want to move this many friends at blank, blank, blank. I want to go to this many schools, blank, blank, blank. I want somebody to medicate me with this, blank, blank, blank. I want somebody to force therapy, blank, blank, blank. I want somebody to do, all the decisions made were not something that you did. They were decisions made for you. Now you're making decisions, the parents in the room, you make decisions for your child all the time. Why? Because they think with that limbic brain. It develops faster than the decision-making brain. So if the toddlers have a ball run out into the street, go out in the street, what are they going to go do?
Chase the ball.
Chase the ball. Why?
Emotional.
They want the ball. They got to have, that's my ball. I want my ball. They don't care about cars coming. They don't even see it. You as a parent are freaking out. Like, don't do that. Because your decision-making is thinking, even if there's not a car coming, there could be one coming someday. And you don't say, you know what? Let's just take the chances, kid. Go for it. Right? We don't do that. So what I'm shaping up by this is the decision-making process that you're supposed to have right now, you've got to go get and fine-tune and restructure and own it for yourself. Because now it's over. You know, your case manager's not calling you up. How many you got a call from your case manager or your guardian ad litem or your attorney in the last week checking in on you? Doesn't happen. Because you're out now, and yet the weirdness of our system expects you to just be like, oh, I'm cool. Okay, you've heard me say before, you guys are my heroes. The fact that you're here, every man in this room should be in jail. That's what the stats tell us. You should be in prison, locked up, or dead, or addicted to a drug. Every girl in this room should not only be pregnant, but you should have like 40 kids and in jail, dead, locked up, hooked to substances, and in domestic violence relationship. All of you should be crazy. That's what the stats all say, but you're not. I mean, most of you are crazy, but in a good way. But what I'm saying, especially, you know, is that we, all of us, up until 25, are trying to learn this decision-making process. Once you hit that, your decision-making starts being an automatic process. You don't have to think about everything. If someone gets in your face in a relationship you have decision to react in anger, be calm, walk away, do whatever. You're learning that, right? Nobody woke up with a parenting manual. You didn't get a manual when you left the hospital. Here's what you do. You learn that. We learn decision making. We teach decision making to our kids. When we get them not to run out in the street. When we tell them no. No doesn't mean let's talk about it. When I say no more cookies, that's it. So you help them with decision making, and either they become a rebel and go get the cookie and go, you don't tell me what to do. And you're like, dang, right? Or they're like, okay, I'm going to listen. But you're helping them with the decision-making process with discipline and consequences. Here's the rough part about our lives, and what I'm sharing with you guys today is the decisions you make today can set you back 5 to 10 years. There's people in this room that made a decision on one night that will set them back for 10 years. That's a decision you make. And if you continue to make those decisions emotionally and go off of, oh, I don't feel like it. I don't care how you feel. I really don't. I want you to be successful at 30, at 25, at 40, at 50, the rest of your life, to have a jamming life, a jamming family, a great existence, feel good about yourself. But to do that means you got to get up, show up, and do the work. And not just here, but in everything. So if you've got a dream, chase it, but make good decisions. You don't have to go to college. You don't have to go to vocational school. You don't have to do anything. But you do have to do something that makes sense to you, and you have to make decisions every day to get there. We talk about Olympic athletes, right? Got a plate of donuts over here, 16 boxes of pizza, a bunch of soda, and all these things that would attract them, right? But they make a choice to say, no, I'm going to make a decision. I've got to train for this event, so I'm going to say no to this stuff. Same thing for you. You could have a friend call you up, parents in the room. It's easy to pick on you guys. And they say, hey, man, we're going to the club this weekend. You know, we've got this new band coming in, and my buddy just got his new pot card, and he's got some cool dope, so we're going to go smoke and see the club and listen to some music. What do you think? Decision tree goes, wait a minute. I said that I want to have a great family, and I want to be there for my kids all the time. So I'm going to say no to this, even though emotionally, these are the guys that I've hung out with forever. These are the girls that I've hung out with forever. We always have a good time. But I need to be there for my kid. So you have to say no. Now they're like, oh man, you never do anything anymore. I just got to say no. And you're here now with your child and doing the right thing. That's a decision that you have to make. You may not always make the right decision, right? Some of you guys will probably have legal issues. You didn't make the good decision. It doesn't mean you're a failure. It means you're going through the process. I just stacked up the reasons why we should all make bad decisions at your age. 1, foster care didn't teach you to make good decisions. The system didn't teach you to make one decision. Decisions were made for you and about you. 2, your brain isn't even fully developed. 3, your emotional brain is developed. So, meaning you're prone to have no decision-making experience, to have an emotional brain that makes decisions. That's a recipe for bad choices. Now, that doesn't mean that's who you are and what you do. What I'm shaping with you today, and the argument I'm trying to make for your case in life and how you can be better and different and not be a statistic, but grab onto the hope and opportunities and responsibilities you have, is to say, you know what, man, from this day forward, I'm going to think a little bit more about choices. Because decision making isn't just a choice or a responsibility or an idea we have or a dream we follow. Decision making follows thinking about it. What are my options? What are the pros, the benefits? What are the cons and the things that don't work out? Okay? How is this going to work out in my life? And not just for the next 5 minutes, because that's how we think. If you're emotional, you think about right now. So when that guy or girl comes up to you and is hugging on you and loving on you and you're like, oh, this feels great, man. That's a right now emotion. That doesn't mean they're Mr. or Mrs. Right or wrong. It means that just right now it feels good. When you're walking down the aisle in the store and you see that game console and you're like, oh man, I gotta have that. I could be playing Call of Duty all weekend, right? And your PG&E bill's sitting at home. What's the choice you should make? But emotionally, what are choices sometimes we make? Buy the game console. I had a call last week from a guy that was in THP, said, hey, and this is no joke, this is the exact conversation. So he calls up and says, hey, I need some help. I got to pay my PG&E, $292, or they're shutting it off today. I'm like, well, what's going on, man? How this happen? Oh, you know, I'm not working right now. What? Yeah, I mean, I'm not ready to work. Well, why you got PG&E bill? Well, you know, I mean, I got money from my internet, but whoa. So we're talking about, and just the decision making that is going on was like, you can't do this. I don't do that. I don't get to go to my house and go, hey, you know what, man, I don't feel like paying my bills today. So, whatever. No, I'm not gonna have power. You can't do that. For some reason, he thought that was okay. And here's the deal, I get it. If somebody's always set up a program for me and said, hey, don't worry, we got a program for that. Hey, we got a program for that. Hey, we got a program for that. Hey, and you're just putting a program, it's not a decision that you get to make. Right? I think this was maybe one of the first decisions you got to make. Do you want to go into THP? You said yes. We said, here's the manual. Here's what you're agreeing to. You say, I agree. That's your choice. You made all those choices and you made informed choices. You thought about it. You weighed out the pros and cons. Man, I'm getting a check. Dang, they're asking for a lot of stuff. But you know what? It's worth it. I need to invest in my life. And so you do it. That's a choice you make. Anybody here going to art class? Okay? Art class, choice you made. Nobody forced you to do it. Nobody said, hey man, you got to go do this. So hopefully you get a benefit out of it. And you're learning and growing. But that's a decision you're making. And every day you get to make those decisions. So what I'm shaping up for you guys today is let's not beat ourselves up about some of the decisions we've made in the past. But let's agree, let's make better decisions in the future. Let's understand that, you know what, I've got, and I'm just talking about your biology. I'm not talking about you and anything else. The only thing I've mentioned about this group of us in this room is being in foster care and having decisions made for us. Everything else is biological. You can take the biggest brainiac right now that's over in some fancy college or whatever, and the dude's frontal lobe still hasn't developed. Other people, it develops quicker, and because they have to. And some of you may have made those choices and make difficult choices every day. That's probably why you're here. Okay? So, what can we do to change things now? Let's look at this. So, flip over, go to page 2. There's a real quick thing I want you to see on the back there, and it says decide. This was by Christina Goa, and it's an acronym. Acronyms are just words spelled out that each word has a meaning. So the first one, D in decide. Define the problem. What's the problem? All right? And this could be anything in your life. I use an example of I don't have a car right now. I don't have any transportation. So that's the problem. I don't have transportation to get where I need to go. Okay? 2, establish or list out the criteria. The constraints. I need a car. I need a vehicle. I need a bike. I could ride the bus. There's a lot of things I could do, but I've got to get places. I don't always have the time to ride public transportation because some of my appointments are longer than the time I'd spend on the bus. So if I've got a 10 o'clock and an 11 o'clock and a 12 o'clock and a 1 o'clock, other places in the city, a bus isn't going to get me there. Right? So I need to have transportation that's flexible. That's one of my criteria. I could ride a bike, but my bike's not going to get me there. Okay? So I need some wheels. Now, what kind of car do I need? Consider and collect all the alternatives. So I start looking at cars I have. I look at my bank account. I look at my financial situation. What's my credit score? What can I qualify for? I look at all that stuff. I start figuring it all out, and then I say, okay, I can afford a $200 payment a month. Or I could buy a car for $7,000. So then I start thinking through that, all the alternatives. Alternatives are, okay, I could get a gas-guzzling old car from my aunt who has some jacked up old Cadillac and it gets 12 miles to the gallon. And it's got 180,000 miles on it, but I could buy it for $5,000. Or I can go pick up a brand new little Honda Accord because my credit score qualifies for it. I got to put $1,000 down, but I pay $250 a month in a lease. I can afford that. They want me to buy it, but it's $500 a month. I can't afford that. So then I go, okay, what are my options? And then I say, okay, I'm going to bum rides and save money. That's not an option. I'm not going to be able to keep my job. So then I go to 5, develop and implement a plan of action. I weighed out all the pros and cons. The lease is the best option for me. So I'm going to go lease a car, pay $250. I forgot about my insurance, $350, and I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm committed to it for 3 years. So I find out at the end of 3 years, I got to turn this car in. I don't want to turn it in. I don't like leasing cars. Now I'm going to buy a car. So I go back through the same option tree. I can buy this car that I've driven since brand new for a lesser amount of money. Same payment. That's what I do. Okay? So you go through the decision. You can do this about relationships you're in, right? And don't tell your significant other that you're pros and conning them out. I really like her looks. She's as dumb as a rock, right? Don't do that kind of stuff. But in your head, you can do it all you want, right? But what I'm saying is you can make these same choices about relationships. If you're going to spend any time with this person, you need them to be what you like to be. If you like sports and they hate them, what's going on? If you love pizza and burritos and tacos all the time and they're vegetarian, pretty soon it starts stacking up and you think they're beautiful and good looking and got a good body and you're all into that, but other than that compatibility, you're not there. Or they treat you like garbage, right? They can have all these wonderful qualities and a job and money and all that, but if they treat you like garbage, it doesn't matter. So you've got to weigh stuff out and then you make that decision and say, hey, you know what? This isn't working out. It's also about what you do with your life, what you want to do. I know some of you guys in this room have had great dreams that have a lot of jobs and things, but you can't do it. Dreams are just dreams if you don't have a plan of action to get there. And you just can't run around telling people what you're going to do and never do it. Right? My life, I made a decision that changed my forever and brought me to this very point standing in front of you today. And that was in February of 1995. I was trying to figure out those 3 questions. Who God is, what I want to do with my life, and I'd already figured out who I spent the rest of my life with. That was my wife, Kim. We had been married by 8 years by then. So I'm in church. I didn't know anything about church. My first time in this church, guy says, hey man, we need people to go to a camp for foster kids, 6 to 12 to be a counselor. And I'm like, I'll go. That day changed my forever. We're here today, Covenant's here today, everything was here today because of that one moment, right? A decision that I raised my hand. I had no idea when I raised my hand that this was happening. You don't do that, but your decisions matter for a long time. So what I'm saying to you is, I had no idea when I made the decision, but it began to grow. And then I was able to make decisions based upon that one moment that led to everything we're doing now. But it wasn't just a dream. I didn't lay in my bed that Sunday morning and go, you know what? Someday I'd like to have a coffee house and a program called THP, and we're gonna do mentoring, and we're gonna meet a bunch of cool people, and their lives are gonna be awesome, and we're gonna give hope and have slogans like hope lives here. I didn't say all that. But we do that a lot when we're making decisions about our life. We say things that we don't mean. That'd be like me saying, hey, you know what, man? Yeah, we work with foster youth. I got a spaceship, and I take them to Mars every week, and we give them buckets of money and gold and change their life, and then we buy them their own island in Greece, and we ship them over there. It's awesome. You guys want to get involved? That'd be a lie all the way through. But how many of us in this room lie to ourselves? I say, you come to a meeting with your case manager, say, oh yeah, I'm going to get my college degree. No, you're not. You're just saying that because you think that's the thing that somebody wants to hear. We don't care if you get a college degree. We're excited if you get one. But we're not asking you to go get one. We want you to be the best you. You can be awesome at whatever you are, man. I mean, you just be you. I'll be me, rock you. And that's what we should do. I mean, it's your life. Make the decisions about it. And be happy about it. We're here to support you. Remember, give hope always, provide opportunities for growth, love you with support and accountability. And that's what it's all about. So I'm not asking any of you to make decisions that are going to change your world today. I'm just saying, think through the decisions you're making every day because they matter. If you go back to this form and you start right here with the why, that's going to shape everything for you. Why are you here today? Are you here because you have to be here? Then you're going to get what has to happen here. If you're here because you want to be here, it's going to be a little bit different. You might hear something different. When you leave here, you're going to go do something. Why are you doing that? Who's it for? How's it going to help you in the future? Tomorrow's Friday. What are you going to do? What decisions are you going to make? How's that going to help you in the future? Because remember, if we are trapped with this emotional brain, we've got to fine-tune our thinking brain to make good choices. You got a car key. You got a car?
Yeah.
It could go, there's 50 bars within 2 miles of here. He could go get in his car, go somewhere and say, man, that decision-making thing blew my mind, but I don't agree with any of it, so I'm just going to go suck down some beers. Go over there, suck down some beers, perfectly legal, above age, all that stuff, and then go out to his car. He can make a decision right then and there. Dang, I got to leave my car in Oildale. Or I'm going to call Uber or a friend or call somebody to make something happen. Or I'm going to chance it. And it could change his whole life, that one decision. Right? So you have all made decisions that have changed your life. All I'm asking you today is think about every decision you're going to make. Don't make decisions based on what someone else wants to hear. Make it based upon your why. Why are you here? Why are you on the earth? Why are you in the situation you're in? How are you going to get to where you want to go? If you start with why, everything changes. If I'm a parent, I start with my why. I want to have a place for my family to grow and be whole, and I want to be there for them all the time. That means all my choices that come in over here, to ask go to a club, to stay out, to go do this, go do that, to do all the me stuff, even buy my stuff that I want, I say no to so I can give my child what they need. If I'm in a relationship with a significant other, I could be all about me and go spend all my money on me and all my time on me, or I can invest in my significant other in that relationship, which is going to pay off longer down the road. So the decisions you make are very, very important. This sheet here has the why on it. That's the why we do what we do. Start with why. It's in the very center. Your purpose. Then the how. Unfortunately, all of us think about the what. We think about the what we do, the what we say, the what we are, the what we dress like. We don't think about the how. and we don't think about the why. But the why is the one that really guides our life. Because your what is just, man, whatever. I could say, hey, man, I'm Randy, and I do covenant. And if that's my what, big deal. This could be gone tomorrow, right? We could not have any of this. But who am I? That's my why. I could go home today, and my wife could be sick. I could take her to the doctor, and she could have cancer. And if I base my whole life on my what is being a husband, well, why am I a husband? Why am I in a relationship with her? I lost my mom. I told you guys this in April. If my whole life was built around that relationship and that was my what, I saw my whole existence as that, then that's gone. So what am I now? But if my why is I'm going to love the people that are alive in my sphere of influence, and I want to have deep relationships that matter, then I miss my mom, and she's not here. But my why's still here. And now it's still on you guys and on other people, but it doesn't mean that something bad didn't happen. So make good decisions based upon your why. What's your why? And then at the bottom of page 2, fine-tune your brain. Like your body and how you can exercise, while your brain's maturing, start making choices, and the more good choices you make, guess what will happen? The more good choices you'll make. The more good decisions you make, the more good decisions you'll have. You make some bad decisions, just say, you know what, that was a bad decision, I'm going to move on. So how can you help yourself? Look here on the last page, page 3. Be aware of how your developing brain works. So hopefully you get that today. I'm not bagging on you. I'm not bagging on me. I'm just saying it's biology. It's what happens, right? Look for opportunities to practice good decision making. Think about it every single way. And then when you do hit a decision, use this sheet. Train yourself to go through the hard work of making good decisions. It could be about Christmas gifts, right? I want to spend $500 a month on Christmas this year, and you have no money. That's probably not a good decision, right? But what are the pros and cons about? I'm going to feel good because I gave people I love gifts. If that's what you need to do, that's your what. It's not going to move anybody forward. It's going to get you in debt. You're going to feel better about yourself because you gave somebody in your family something or a friend something. So use this. Let's look at this sheet real quick together before we end today. Define the question. What are you trying to decide? This could be about school, could be about work, could be about life, could be about parenting, could be about relationship, could be about anything. What are you trying to decide? Research the facts. Start looking at it. I went over the car scenario with you guys, right? Trying to decide if I should buy a car, rent a car, get a bike, buy a motorcycle, do whatever, right? Research the facts. Get it all listed out. Because remember, it's not just a choice. It's an informed choice. It's a thought process we put it through. Compare the pros and cons of each option, right? Figure out what's good and bad. Choose the option with the greatest number of good things in it, right? Then you evaluate, put it into action. Don't just make a decision and then say, oh, I'm making a decision and not put it into action. Don't make that decision about your significant other, right? If you're in a relationship and go, man, this stacks up. This is the wrong person for me. And then go, I'm not going to do anything about it. And be with them for 10 more years and be miserable. Right? Make the decision. Right? You can't do that with your kids, you guys. Don't do that stuff, man. You know what? I'm giving this back. Take it to the hospital. I don't like changing diapers. You can have them. That doesn't work.
It came from you.
Yeah, right. See? But that's a decision. So you live with it and you learn and you grow and move on. And we all do that. We have babies at 20. So it's not a big deal. But you gotta make it a big deal. For you, make good decisions. So open it up real quick. What are you guys thinking about this? What's worked for you today that we talked about? What's sounds like garbage? What's meaningful? What's your takeaway? What are you gonna leave this room thinking about, if anything?
Decisions.
Yeah.
The importance of decisions.
Cool.
The importance of which decisions you make.
Right?
Why?
Why? Yeah.
Definitely the process
Yeah.
of decision making.
Right. So we have the why, process, and the importance of it, the consequences that come from it. Yeah. You know, it's crazy, man. Life goes so fast. I'll be 50 next July. And I could never imagine that. You know, I could never imagine all the stuff that we do. And it's just a trip. I got 2 little grandbabies, three grandbabies now. Never would have thought about all that stuff, you know? And it's all good. But, and they all stem from decisions. And even the wrong decision, you can work out with the help of people and God to make a good decision. A passage in the Bible, I love it. It says that, what the devil meant for harm, we turned into good. And here's what I know about child abuse and neglect. That's God trying to mess with your generations. That's why we say here at Covenant, restoring lives to transform generations. Because I know, like every single one of you, you don't want your child or your downline to go through anything that you went through. Correct? We can all agree on that, right? You may want them to learn the resiliency and toughness and all that stuff, but you don't want anybody to do what you had to do. So to get to that place, that why, you've got to make good choices. And it's not bagging on people that, participate in you being where you're at, but it is honestly going, what do I need to do so this doesn't happen? But we can take what the enemy meant for harm and turn it for good. That's why we say restoring lives, that's each one of you, to transform generations. That's each one of the little people here. And the little people that are in this room that nobody knows about that aren't here yet, that will be here someday. And that's the cool thing about it, is that you are not here for yourself. This life is much bigger than you and me and the Xbox and the things we think we have to have today and the emotions we think run our lives. It's about everything. And so what you're saying is right. You do need to process. And hey, man, I'm sharing with you stuff I'm learning. I'm putting this into play today. So all the decisions you're hearing about how we're changing things up in January, we've been thinking about and talking about and praying about and putting through this decision model for 6 months. And I still don't know if it's going to work. But we're going to make a decision because we think it's the best decision for you, not for us. We think it's going to give you the most amount of options and the most amount of freedom. So when we go to that, instead of the first, you have to come in and go to this class and get your check and it's pretty chaotic. Man, if you can come in on the first, fine. If you want to come in on the second, no big deal. If you set it up with your case manager and you get your check, it's a quick check-in. It's like a doctor's visit. And what I love about that is when you go to the doctor, they don't sit there and talk to you forever. They're like, hey man, what's wrong? You got a scratchy throat? All right, let me see. Okay, I'll be right back. They go back and they bring some medicine and then they leave. Your old doctor's visit takes 3 minutes, but you get what you need. And that's what the whole purpose of Check Day is supposed to be about. But we still want to give you the opportunity to get those classes and enrich your life and develop, but you make the choice. So you'll have alternatives, informational classes, motivational classes, where you can get what you need. Maybe you think you're on information overload. You want to hear about the brain again. And you don't want to hear about steps on doing this. You just want somebody to come in and inspire you because you need to be picked up and lifted up. So we're going to bring in community leaders and they're going to come in here and they're going to say, man, you're important, you're important, you're important. You guys can all make a difference. And they're going to tell you their life story. You're going to go, dang, that dude came from that. Or that girl came from that. And now they're doing this. Man, I can do this, right? So sometimes we just need that. Other times we do need information. We need to know how to do certain things. Kids don't come with manuals, right? You don't get a baby in a manual, right? Wives and husbands don't come with manuals. They should, but I think it's a Bible. That's what that one's called. So we thought and went through this exact process. We do it all the time. Everybody on our team does it all the time, okay? So decision making will be with you the rest of your life. So learn it, focus on it, think about it. That's what today was about. Cool? Any questions, comments, thoughts? You guys are awesome. We believe in you. Come to the Christmas party. Make sure we get your Christmas wish list. There's clothing and stuff out there, toys out there for little ones. If you got nephews or nieces or no little kids, take some stuff. Let's clear that out today. They've got it all sized out. Yeah, right, Alex? She's got all sized out, put out there. Next week will be fun. It's just time to hang out, chill out. And then really looking forward to January with this new stuff going down. Okay?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.